Hi, I'm Dave Stuckey, Director of the Office of Emergency Management within the Oregon Military Department. In the past year, Oregon has faced some extreme winter weather events, drought, and fire. Emergency management across the state is always a challenge, but if we work together at the state and local level, we can better prepare and respond to disasters in our state. Here's a quick look ahead at how we are making Oregon safer.
Fires, floods, earthquakes. Just a few of the major disasters that could strike our state. When emergencies happen, Oregon Office of Emergency Management is there to assist local responders.
Locals first, they own that disaster, and then they continue to work up this ladder until as they need resources.
As wildfires blazed through southern Oregon in the summer of 2013, local emergency manager Jessica Schwartz leaned on the state to help get businesses back on their feet.
Last summer during the wildfires that we had in southern Oregon, OEM was instrumental in assisting with the declaration process, the small business loan process when we did the economic injury disaster loan. Also, state and federal resources were really critical through OEM to activate those.
Fires are just one of the many disasters that strike our state. And with every emergency, time is limited, making relationships with local and state partners extremely important. In May, Oregon Office of Emergency Management took part in its 2014 Emergency Preparedness Workshop, providing an opportunity for the emergency management community to come together, share ideas, and learn from each other.
We have to coordinate together, having these conversations, being able to figure out what things are really challenging and difficult, and then rolling up our sleeves and working together.
The conference included more than 140 state, private, nonprofit, county, tribal, and city emergency management leaders from throughout Oregon.
And it's great that we can always call Oregon Emergency Management staff at any time and get a question answered. When you actually have the subject matter being presented to you, and now you have the opportunity to ask those questions, but the better part is you're actually getting that interaction with your peers.
It has often been said that all emergencies are local, and in Oregon's experience, that is undoubtedly true. However, the conference in Sun River proved that even if a disaster is local, outside support is critical.
Sometimes you feel like you're kind of out there alone. Granted, we're over in Eastern Oregon, and we have more cows per square mile than people per square mile. And being able to know that you're not alone, where you're not in the boat by yourself, there's a crew there with you.
The purpose of Oregon's Office of Emergency Management is to execute the governor's responsibilities by planning, preparing, and providing for the prevention, mitigation, and management of an emergency or disaster. The size and scope of the disaster varies greatly, from local flooding and fires to a large Cascadia subduction zone earthquake.
But the Cascadia subduction zone brings a whole new element of risk to our state.
March 2011, a major 9.0 earthquake strikes off the coast of Japan. The results catastrophic. A massive tsunami, thousands of lives lost. Devastation abound in one of the most earthquake-prepared countries in the world.
Yeah, and people watched it live on their TV. I mean, we were sitting at home watching this unfold as it happened, much like we did really in 2004 with the Indonesian earthquake and tsunami. So yeah, it was certainly a wake-up call.
Just off the Oregon coast lies the Cascadia subduction zone, a 600-mile earthquake fault line stretching from offshore Northern California to southern British Columbia. For hundreds of years, two massive tectonic forces, the Juan de Fuca and the North American plates, have pushed against each other, building immense force. Experts say the fault could rupture at any time, resulting in a massive earthquake and tsunami.
So these partial ruptures are actually much more frequent, and the recurrence interval is on average about 240 years. So it's been 300 years since the last one, so we're certainly within that window of opportunity for this thing happening.
While Japan illustrates the devastation that can ensue after a major earthquake, Rizzo says there is much we can learn from their disaster.
And this kind of translates up into businesses. Businesses don't understand their risk. They don't have continuity of operations. They don't think about training their employees. They don't think about how are they going to do business if they don't have power or sewer for 2 years. So there's a lot that we have done in the past, but there's certainly a lot more that we need to be doing.
Preparing our state is critical. The Office of Emergency Management is in the process of developing a Cascadia Playbook to help prepare the state for perhaps the worst disaster we've ever faced.
And so what we have done is we've developed this playbook. It's a punch list of actions that has to occur in order to respond to the Cascadia subduction zone rupture.
The Cascadia Playbook is a cross-cutting emergency management tool being developed for the state of Oregon that supports various existing plans and efforts. The playbook encompasses coordination steps between state agencies to ensure the fastest possible response. The Japanese earthquake and tsunami of 2011 showed just how devastating an earthquake and tsunami of this magnitude can be and how vital it will be to get people the help they need.
The middle of January, and it's raining and it's dark and we have a Cascadia subduction zone rupture, we don't need to think about what we're doing. We're pulling the playbook out. We're just going right down the checklist. And that will help us respond to this disaster much more efficiently in hopes of helping save people's lives.
The Cascadia Playbook is just one tool the Oregon Office of Emergency Management has initiated to help coordinate efforts to respond to a major earthquake in our state. But it will take everyone, support from local businesses, and citizens of this state to make sure Oregon is prepared.